Just a quick look at something special I picked up a couple months back. What we have here is an HMV-100. Two of them actually, but the one I'm concentrating on today is this one. This is a French market HMV-100 with the oak veneer. It's a fairly rare model. How rare I'm not exactly sure, but it's the only one I've ever seen. I was lucky enough to find it. Somebody thought that it was an HMV-101 with its cover peeled off. But that is not what it is. It is a genuine oak veneer. It's French market, so marked. And I did make them for the little while there. Now any HMV is a rare item. They didn't make them very long, only about a year. And they're hard to find in black rexine or in oak. But this one turned up on the US market. Let's have a look at it. It's like any other HMV-100. You know, it's got the parabolic reflecting the horn in there. It's got the exhibition reproducer. It's obviously a single spring motor. Same size as any other 100. Only difference is it doesn't have the black rexine cover. That's it. And it doesn't have the usual English markings on there and the tag. It's French. Now, there's one other difference you can see here. I have a regular 100 here so that you can see that this is a very early 100. I'll show this later on in another video, not today, with the, I have altogether 3 100s. This is just one, just showed a difference in the rexine cover and the oak. But you can see this one is early enough that it has the lid stay on the opposite side of where you would normally see it. If you look on the French one over there, that has it in the normal location. Other than that, it's pretty much the same as any other 100. Well, I still have a little bit of polishing to do in the tone arm and some minor sprucing up, but for the most part, all the mechanical stuff has been done to it. And let's see how it sounds. Of course, like any HMV-100, it has a pop-up tone arm here. See, watch this. Pops right up like that. Now, there's no auto brake on these, of course, so you have to make sure to take it off quickly before it reaches the end. It'll just spin there. Get rid of the needle. We don't reuse needles. And that was Harem Life, Oriental Foxtrot by Paul Bees and his Novelty Orchestra. Now, my first thought seeing this, I bought this online, I did it from pictures, but the first thought seeing it was, oh, it's got to be a colonial model, something out of Calcutta. But on closer inspection, a little bit of research, which was not easy because there's just not that much information seems to be on these out there. And I could not find any mention of it in the big book of all things HMV that I have. I determined that it was, once it got here and I was able to read the label, I could see it was French. Because my first thought was colonial, it must be teak or something like that. But then closer inspection and the crappy pictures, I could see, it looks a lot like very dark fumed oak. Sure enough, that's exactly what it was. See if we get a picture of that. We got a bit of a crack there. See if I can zoom in on that label. Easier if I did it with two hands, I guess. There we go. Come on. Well, I'll have to do it this way. Sorry about turning the camera sideways, but it's the only way I can get under here. Don't know if that's gonna... There you go. And I'll eventually clamp and glue the crack when I take the tray off. Take a look at it. Let's fold that tone arm down before I forget and try to close the lid that way. And as you can see, very similar machines to the regular HMV-100. Now one day I'll bring out the other HMV and I'll show it in comparison to this one, other HMV-100. They didn't make it very long. I believe it was 1925, early 26 when they were making these. Just a little while before they came out with the HMV-101. And anybody familiar with the Victor Victrola 35 will immediately notice certain similarities with the machine. For one thing, this was HMV's first foray into the black rexine cover, or what we would call leatherette here in the US. Let's see if I can, just, yeah, from the side you can see it. Hard to do it one-handed. Black leatherette. Except for that one, which of course is oak. For some reason, I guess the French market wanted oak. Too bad they didn't make more of them that way. It does kind of look nice. Tends to pop. Anyway, the size is very close to the Victor Victrola 35. The reflective horn, aluminum horn, that's classic Victor Victrola 35. The motor is different. Location, the entire tone arm is completely different from the Victor Victrola 35, which has no such pop-up tone arm like that. But other than that, and the Victor Victrola 35 went to the crank on the side of the machine, while HMV retained the front crank, which is somewhat difficult to use because when you go to wind it, you see what happens? You whack into you have to hang it over a tabletop somewhere. You whack right into the table. Well, there you go. A quick look at a very rare machine. Let's put that down so you can see it a little better. The Oak HMV-100.